Hi, welcome to Love Saranghae with Peter and Andrea. In the next 30 minutes, we'll take you on a journey into the exciting world of entrepreneurship, relationships, and the secrets behind achieving that coveted glow. Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, welcome, listeners, to another episode of Love Saranghae podcast with Peter and Andrea. And today, we are going to ask Andrea why she keeps laughing and smiling throughout these podcasts. What is so funny? Do I have donuts on my? Do I have like cream on my face? What is the?
First of all, Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm just laughing because Peter is so formal with listeners, podcast listeners. People.
Anyway,
that's fun.
We are going to help decode. We have a treat. We're going to help decode the language of skincare. You know why? Because our industry loves to use, including me, loves to use long names and very scientific sounding stuff. So we're going to help you kind of unravel that jargon and make it a little easier for you guys. And we'll have some fun in the meantime. We'll joke around. But in the interest of time, we will be examining about 8 skincare terms and acronyms. Because to be honest, we can go for days on this thing. But if you have any other specific questions, please contact us through our website or social, and we will address your concerns or questions in subsequent episodes about decoding the language of skincare. Okay? Sounds good?
Yes.
All right.
Let's do it.
Miss Andrea Moret, are you ready?
I am. So let me just outline a little bit what we're going to do. It's going to be sort of like a spitfire question and answer. We're not going to go on and on about each one. It's really going to be just a basic description of what the acronym is or what the term is. And if, again, like Peter said, if you want to go deeper, then we can do that in another episode. But for today, it's just simple, to the point, so you can digest it as you will. Okay? I'm ready.
That's great. That's great, because I've had way too much coffee and I've got the jitters. So, and Andrea, your first term is SPF. What does it stand for, and what does it mean?
SPF. So SPF, I feel like everyone knows what SPF is, but the acronym is Sun Protection Factor, SPF. And basically what it means is essentially if your skin normally burns after 10 minutes in the sun, for example, SPF 15 allows you to stay in the sun without burning for about 150 minutes. So there's a minimum factor of 15 in perfect conditions. So on the flip side of that, an SPF 50 would allow you to stay in the sun for approximately 8 hours. However, important note here that there are so many other factors that do come into play and that will interfere with this timing. So for example, if you wash it off, if you wipe it off, if you sweat, if you go swimming, all of these things will interfere with the length of time that you can go without reapplying your SPF. So use this as a guide.
Perfect.
Okay, Peter, the next.
All right, I'm ready. Bring it on.
The first one I'm going to ask you about is AHA, BHA, LHA, and PHA.
Okay.
They're all kind of the same family, so that's why we're grouping them together.
Yeah, so the reason why this one's confusing as heck, because when I was in Korea, they tried to sell me on the LHA, PHA, and they couldn't explain to me why this was any different than AHA, BHA, and I still don't know what the actual real difference is. I will try explaining it, because I've done a lot of research on it, and hopefully you guys will take what you can out of this thing. So let's start with the two that you know and love. AHA, it stands for alpha hydroxy acid. It is water-soluble acid made from sugary fruits, and it helps clear out the surface level dead skin. So you can call this a wide cleaner for your skin. It's the mildest of the available exfoliant acids and usually not irritating at all. We use lactic acid. That's an AHA. BHA stands for beta hydroxy acid, and it's an oil-soluble chemical exfoliant that cleans out pores and excess sebum. So it goes deep, okay? Oil binds with oil. It's the most powerful and potentially irritating of the exfoliating acids, and we use something called salicylic acid. And clinical grade salicylic acid has been around for like 50 years, and it's very powerful. Now, here comes the two that are new and annoying to me. LHA stands for lipohydroxy acid, and it's a chemical derivative of salicylic acid, meaning that it is a derivative of BHA. It's oil soluble,
I don't know.
but apparently it dissolves slightly better in oils and lipids than BHA. Brands are selling them as a gentler form of BHA right now. So if you can't use BHA, maybe you can use the LHA, is what they're saying. It's not quite as effective in my opinion, but it's supposed to be more mild. So that's LHA. PHA.
Better for sensitive skin.
Yeah.
Possibly.
PHA stands for polyhydroxy acid and is a newer derivative of AHA. It's a chemical derivative of AHA. And the claim is that it's almost as effective as AHA, but also gentler on the skin. So for most of us, here's the nut of it is that for most of us, AHA, BHA will work perfectly. Okay. If you are sensitive to them, then try LHA and PHA. Now, here's what rubs me the wrong way. You will see products soon that have all AHA, BHA, LHA, and PHA in one product. You will see all 4 ingredients in one product, which is complete BS. It doesn't make sense at all. But it is a marketing thing, right? You want to put all of these new ingredients into a bottle and say you have them. Maybe it sells. So you heard it here. It's a marketing gimmick. If it has all 4 ingredients, you're paying for useless marketing. There you go.
I think you want to look at the amount of each ingredient because sometimes it's so small that they just have it in there so they can have it on the label as a marketing thing. But it actually has no effect and does absolutely nothing. So be mindful of that as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. And the parting thought that is, if you're looking for an AHA, BHA exfoliant, look for something between 1% and 2%. Anything above 2% will probably burn. Anything below 1%, you want something a little stronger. So right around that range. Yeah. All right.
Good advice.
Next term, one I usually use a lot. I probably shouldn't, but the term is called non-comedogenic. What is that, Andrea?
Non-comedogenic. I need to practice how to say that. Okay, so non-comedogenic is just a fancy term to describe products that don't clog pores. So it's particularly good for someone who has acne or combination skin to use products that are non-comedogenic.
Yeah. So the flip side of non-comedogenic is occlusives. You'll see a term called occlusive. And occlusive are products that blanket your skin wholly. So Vaseline is an occlusive, and they will clog your pores. Okay?
So nothing goes in and nothing goes out.
Exactly.
Okay, next one, Peter, is pH balanced. What does pH balanced mean?
All right. So pH and pH balance. So that's what pH stands for is potential hydrogen. It is a chemical term. It's simply a measure of how acid or basic a solution is. So an acid solution is pH level 0 or to 6. Basic is 8 to 14, and 7 is neutral. So the pH balance scale goes from 0 to 14. 7 is neutral, 0 to 6 is acidic, and 7 to 14 is basic. It's funny that a healthy human skin is actually, surprisingly, slightly acidic. We tend to go between pH 4.7 to 5.75. So our skin naturally is slightly acidic, and mostly because I think the skin has to be acidic to fight off bacteria, right? Mm. So that's why you need to rebalance your pH level, your potential hydrogen level, after using cleansers or in soap, which has a pH of level 14. If you don't rebalance that pH after using soap, you are more susceptible to bacterial infection.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah. So hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, that stuff that eats through like wood and food, those are pH level 0. Acidic, yeah.
Got it. So the lower the pH, the higher the acidity.
Yeah. The higher the pH, the more basic the solution. That's all it is. All right. So now that we've talked about pH, it now makes more sense to introduce a term, Duke parameter. So Andrea, what is a Duke parameter?
So the Duke parameter outlines the requirements for the effective delivery of topical vitamin C. So when you think of a vitamin C product that you use on your face, Duke parameters are sort of like your baseline. You want to make sure that your vitamin C is following these parameters. Number one, your vitamin C must use L-ascorbic acid as the vitamin C ingredient. And two, the pH level, we just talked about pH level, it must be between 2.0 and 3.5. Okay? And number three, the final parameter is concentration must be at least 10%, optimal at 20%. But this parameter was set, so this is an important point. This parameter was set, the Duke parameters were set when 20% vitamin C was the maximum. So any concentration higher than 20% is also within the spirit of the Duke parameters. So, for example, our vitamin C that's coming out at the time of recording this, May 2024, is 25% vitamin C. It's well within the Duke parameters.
Yeah, so I have to give one caveat to the Duke parameter. We're bringing out the Duke parameter because many of our customers have asked, does our vitamin C fall inside the Duke parameter?
Yes.
The Duke parameter was I don't want to say marketing, but it's a measurement of effectiveness of vitamin C created by SkinCeuticals. So the skincare company SkinCeuticals came up with this term called the Duke parameter to describe their effectiveness of vitamin C of their product. That's why it's between 10% and 20%, because their vitamin C was at 15%. So it kind of filled the need of how they wanted to describe their own vitamin C. And it was created by the founder, Dr. Pennell. So you've got to take this with a grain of salt. It's really just something that a skincare company, SkinCeuticals, came up with to better sell their products. So let's make sure that we keep that in mind.
Food for thought. Okay, now we're going to talk about free radicals. Do you want to share? What's free radicals? What does that mean?
Free radicals, again, a chemical and biological term that's been kind of thrown around willy-nilly all over the place. Free radicals are so in the skincare world, free radicals are the fundamental reason behind decay and aging. Actually, this works for almost all living things. When something ages or decay, the other word for that is oxidation. Oxidation is the chemical process of aging. So free radicals are unstable molecules that steal electrons from stable sources like your skin or blood cells. Okay? So free radicals kind of mosey along in your body with an unstable chemical structure looking for an electron to grab from somewhere. And usually they grab it from stable sources like skin, blood, anything that can give that up. This causes damage to those cells, and we call that oxidation, right? That's the aging process. This is also why we keep talking about antioxidants. Why antioxidants are so highly regarded and powerful is because the antioxidants give up their molecules of electron to stabilize free radicals instead of our skin or blood cells. That's why antioxidants are so important.
So the blueberries.
Yeah. That's right.
All right. Next one.
Okay. All right. What's next on the docket? Last one for you, Andrea. Peptides. Can you please describe what peptides are?
Peptides. Peptides are short-chain amino acids that provide the building blocks of proteins like collagen and elastin. Peptide molecules are small enough to be absorbed through the skin, which is why they work, why they're effective. So think of peptides. Your body makes peptides that serve important functions in some of your body's most necessary processes. So think of how you digest your food, use energy from the food to eat, and how hungry you feel, how your hormones work, and cell movement and so on and so on. So
Nice.
that's, in a nutshell, peptides.
I have nothing else to add to that one.
Shocking.
All right, next. Last one for me.
Okay, last one for today is emulsifier. Peter, what is that? And why do we see it in so many products?
Scary sounding word, emulsifier. It's a very common additive in foods and in skincare that allow oil to blend with water because naturally oil does not mix well with water. They separate, right? So the emulsifier will allow the oil and water to become a solution in one. That's why you have that smooth looking skin cream, that nice flowing serum. That's because of the emulsifiers. They're perfectly safe. And even if some of them sound very scary, they're not. And they can be made synthetically, man-made chemically, or by naturally occurring substances like algae. So that's an emulsifier.
That is all we have for you today. We don't want to overwhelm you with different terms and words. It'll get boring at that point. But the idea is that we're arming you with information so you can make better choices about what you choose to put on your skin and your body and so on. So hopefully this is helpful. If you have more questions, if we've confused you even further, please don't hesitate to let us know. DM us on social over Skin or send us an email.
Okay, with that, we're signing off. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for listening to Love Saranghae with us, Peter and Andrea. If you've enjoyed this episode, leave us a review. Your ratings and reviews help more people like you find our show. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode and share this podcast with someone you think would love it. Until next time, love yourself, love one another, and love the world.